YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, bringing you another Total War Rome 2 online battle. And this time we'll be playing, or I'll be playing as Sparta, and my opponent will be playing as Galatia. So you can see that I've actually brought a whole lot of Cretan archers, 4 pikemen, 4 Spartan hoplites, 4 citizen cav, and then a hero of Sparta for my general. My opponent, as the Galatians, did something that I thought my army was well suited to beat, so we'll see how this turns out. And essentially, whenever I saw him pick the Galatians, I picked Sparta, knowing that I would be at a cav disadvantage, and of course I have no swords, but knowing that Spartan hoplites have been a bit stronger and that I have access to pikes, I figured that I could use a lot of long-range Cretans to destroy any skirmish attempts, which the Galatians would almost certainly be bringing skirmishers because their bows and slings are no good. So I expected him to bring these skirmishers. I can easily defeat them with my Cretans. The other bit is me needing to deal with his cavalry. So he's got one Galatian raider, which is a light cav with missiles and good attack and defense. Really good unit overall. Then he's got 2 noble horse, so his cav is markedly superior to my own. He brings Galatian legionnaires, though, which I guess I should have expected, but I kind of forgot about, because to be honest, I thought he had chosen the Boii. And when he had chosen the Boii, that was part of the reason why I brought pikes. And pikes would be really good against the lightly armored barbarian swordsman. Against these heavily armored ones with high defense, it takes longer to kill them. They can certainly kill them, but it takes longer. So my opponent's going to go ahead and come around and skirmish, and I go ahead and just kind of box up. Because there's no sense in me engaging his cavalry. Even his light cavalry is superior to my own. So there's no way I'd want to take this fight. So whenever you're playing against the Galatians, don't be tricked by the Galatian raiders thinking, oh, it's just a skirmish cav, I'll run them down. No, they'll run you down, unless you're packing a heavy cav, but they can outrun you if it's heavy cav. So yeah, don't be fooled by him. And my opponent's going to do a good job of trying to get around back and throw as many javelins as he can. He actually hits my own citizen cav here with some javelins. I need to turn around to face him, which I believe I do. What I'm doing also is kind of quickly turning around a couple of archers in the opposite direction to take some pot shots at his Galatian raiders, but he's doing a good job of trying to keep at a distance. My shots fell short. Up front, I keep several of my archers focused to do the duty at hand here, which is to destroy these Celtic skirmishers, and that they can do with relative ease. Cretan archers are quite strong, and by the time that these guys get within range to throw their javelins, which he goes ahead and throws at my archers, he seems really determined to get rid of my archers, and to be honest, it's fine. If he gets rid of my archers, he can just easily walk around me, walk around my pikes, but I honestly think he probably should have tried to discharge his ammunition on my pikes, because he doesn't end up doing much damage to my archers, and my archers are able to pretty quickly finish him off. So I have my cav and my general getting ready to face him. He does throw some javelins into the back of my general, which was a mistake on my part, so I go ahead and change that. But yeah, you can see my archers making short work of his Celtic skirmishers. It's at this point when I should have started immediately firing his Galatian legionnaires, and I think that he knows I need to do this. And so he charges into my cav from behind. And what he does next is a good move, but it irritated me. He pulled through my cav and just went for my archers. Now, there absolutely is a penalty for pulling through. Your men die faster. But this was a smart gambit for him because he's got noble horse. And look, barely 10 of them died just from all this pulling through. And he's already massacring my archers. And he's going to do the same thing on both flanks, just pull through to get to my my archers, which is irritating. Not irritating as in he cheated, it's just irritating because it works. And that was my key to winning, was the archers. Now, I can't say that I like it, but I have had to pull through crap before to get to things, so it's something you have to be aware of with melee cav, and it's a viable strategy with them just because they're really strong and heavy, and they can push through things. And then you can see he is going to pay a price. He's going to lose his expensive cav, but he's getting what he bargains for by destroying as many of my archers as possible. So it becomes kind of a worthwhile venture for him. So yeah, it's, like I said, it was a good strategy, because now all he has to do is just kind of march around the flanks to get to the side of my my pikes. And again, you can see him trying to pull through my citizen cav to get at my archers. He's going to do the same thing over here with this Galatian raider. And these guys are no slouches in melee. Got to be careful of them. They don't have a real great charge bonus, but everything else is good. I'm pretty much ignoring these Galatian spears, which I probably shouldn't have been. but I'm going to go ahead and go for his swords. I want to get into their flank because I'm more worried about his Galatian legionnaires. And even though his legionnaires are markedly superior, it takes them a long time to cut through my Spartan hoplites, because my Spartan hoplites are strong. He's got a Galatian noble unit here too, but because my archers are trapped here this whole time, I was able to do nothing. And he keeps one Galatian legionnaire unit up here in front, because I actually was considering running my archers out here to get them free, because I really just needed my archers free. But at this point, pretty much too many of them have died, and the infantry fight's eventually going to sway into my opponent's favor. So I do think that my army was well suited for beating what my opponent brought here. I think I just did it the wrong way. I should have been more apt to get my archers free and not let them be pinned up. He started moving around a lot of his... earlier, he started moving around a lot of infantry on my flanks. So he started this business, and some of his guys were spread out or out of formation. So before he charged my cavalry, I should have taken my own cavalry, charged his units on the flank here, and then at the same time I could have pulled these Spartans back to block his cav, and then they would have been out of position, at which point my archers could have broken through the gaps up here and gotten free, and my cav could have just simply pulled through his men and gotten back here to keep my archers safe from his own cavalry. And I just think it would have been more cost-effective. I don't know if it would have won, but I think it would have been more cost-effective by basically making sure that he was fighting units that he didn't want to be fighting. And you can see here, his Galatian legionnaires are taking my pikes head-on. They're just not dying very quick because they're so heavily armored and they have high defense. And pikes just aren't very aggressive in this game. They don't push like they could in Rome 1. They kind of just sit here and hold stuff at bay. And so you can see that, I mean, eventually my guys would win, right? But his guys get up here on the flanks just a little bit. They push through every now and then, and they're getting as many kills as my pikes are. So it's just not cost-effective. Look, these guys have an attack order and just stopped. So pikes are pretty limited. I actually run into folks sometimes today who still think pikes are overpowered. I couldn't disagree more. Pikes are very underwhelming, to be quite honest. And even in this situation where I had enough infantry to pull, or enough skirmishers to pull his men towards my pikes, you just walk around them, and their kill rate's so slow that you don't have to worry about them too much. Slow against certain units, but here you can see that it's slow. And his guys are able to get up fairly close to me from time to time, and they're just not dying at a rate that, you know, you'd kind of hope for. So if anything, I actually think pikes may need a bit of an increase to their attack, because they're already lacking majorly in maneuverability, which they should be, and they're lacking in shield strength, which they should be. So I think they need to just go ahead and make pikes a little stronger. As far as attack goes, like, they need to be able to kill their victims just a little faster. I don't want them to be like insane, you know, mulchers, like enemy infantry just comes and gets mulched on the front of them. But I think that these guys should have gotten some more kills. But you know what? Maybe that's not what pikes were intended to be. And again, I could have just done better in the way that I managed this battle. Here I did get a quick charge in with my citizen cav. It's just not going to be a whole lot. These guys are fairly heavily armored. And by the time I get them free to where I can start shooting these guys in the back with heavy shot, I didn't have enough ammo left. So basically he killed enough of my archers that I didn't have enough ammo left with these guys to actually potentially win. But I'll do my best to kill some of his men, and this is what I wanted the whole time. I wanted my archers to be able to fire heavy shot into his legionnaires, because you can see it's working. And would have worked if he hadn't done what he did to get a hold of my archers. So again, my opponent made the right decision, and it frustrated me because he made the right decision. Can't win them all though, right, Air? So no, he did the right thing, and I should have been more prepared to keep his cav from being able to pull through my men and get to my archers, because citizen cavalry are honestly a pretty weak defense against noble cav. So, yep, should have been better prepared for that. I run away for a second, but you know, at this point I'm like, there's not enough ammo, there's no way. Even if he sat still and turned his back to me, I didn't have enough ammo to kill these guys. I could have caused quite a bit of damage, but without any infantry or cav left, it was pretty much over. So, yeah, that's all she wrote for Sparta in this one. So I think there's a few lessons learned here. If I'm going to do this again, honestly, I'd probably just ditch the pikes. That way, if he wants to try and walk around my flanks, I'll end up charging him in the flank with my infantry. I would have been better off to just have infantry that was maneuverable. The pikes just can't seem to really hardly pay for themselves after the most recent patches. So I go ahead and throw my Cretan archers to their death here, since they will serve no other purpose other than to be sacrificed to Baal Pachi. Good game to my opponent. So, good use of Galatia, I thought. Haven't seen Galatia used in a while. And like I said, thought he did a good job there. He was real polite to me, too. He recognized me. And Again, a lot of you recognize me when I'm online and always say nice stuff. I appreciate that. It's always nice to run into folks that'll play me a fun game and help me have a good time in Rome 2. So as far as my units, these Spartan Hoplites did good. My general did okay, considering the cost needed to do better. One of my mercenary Cretan archers started to get some kills. The rest, well, you have to remember that some of these kills are actually in a skirmisher, so not real good. But if you look at his guys, most of them were able to be very cost effective. Galatian legionnaires are pretty expensive, but they were killing Spartan hoplites, which are also pretty expensive. So they did well. This noble horse is the one that he was pulling through to my archers, and it got a lot of kills. And these Galatian raiders did the same thing. Very good cav unit here. There's pretty much no reason not to make use of Galatian raiders when you're playing as Galatia. Anyway, good game to my opponent. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Heir of Carthage, signing off for now.